And by the power vested in me by you just now, I pronounce you king and trophy queen. In the name of the Henry, the Hank, and the Holy Harry, amen.
The Simpsons didn't just lampoon Meghan Markle. It dropped a cartoon anvil on a brand that once looked indestructible. In barely a minute of primetime satire, America's longest-running show crowned her a trophy queen, handed her a tray of vegan cupcakes, and, just for good measure, squeezed her entire self-help empire into a single, uncomfortable punchline. By sunrise, the clip had ricocheted across every screen on the planet. Memes multiplied, reaction videos spiked, and hashtags trended faster than you could ask Siri for the royal family tree.
The entitlement, the virtue signaling, the hypocrisy, all of it is encapsulated in these two.
And the untouchability.
Right.
You found out, right? If you say something that crosses them and you hurt their feelings, then they're very upset.
And they believe they have a right to get people removed from their jobs if they don't agree with everything they're saying.
Meghan wasn't laughing. She didn't just lose the room, she lost the cultural script she'd written for herself. And that, more than any savage joke, is what makes this moment different. The episode landed because it felt less like parody and more like a mirror. Viewers recognized the scene the instant the animated Duchess began her uplifting cooking segment, an obvious nod to, with love, Meghan, the glossy Netflix series that never actually made it to air. Industry insiders later admitted the show tested about as warmly as a 3 a.m. infomercial, and executives quietly filed it away with other unsellable pilots.
He's right. Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we? If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life.
The cartoon didn't have to exaggerate. It simply replayed reality in day-glow yellow. Meghan's on-screen double flashed a perfect smile, name-checked her personal causes, and micromanaged the conversation so completely that no one else could breathe. Audience laughter morphed into something sharper. When a joke starts feeling truer than the press releases, brand cracks turn into canyons. Yet Meghan doubled down. Within weeks, she unveiled a fresh podcast idea, a corporate-themed series called Confessions of a Female Founder. The concept sounded empowering, but leaked demos revealed a familiar rhythm. Guests introduced, quickly eclipsed, and eventually reduced to nodding props, while Meghan narrated her own journey.
What was hard to get over was being blamed for something that not only I didn't do, but that happened to me.
One producer dryly compared it to a motivational LinkedIn post that forgot when to end. Spotify's earlier $20 million bet on archetypes had already imploded after just one season, with the streamer complaining about audience impact, not appearances, as Los Angeles Times media analyst Bill Simmons bluntly summarized. Uncoachable. That's the word multiple Hollywood insiders now whisper when Meghan's name surfaces in pitching rooms.
She is the most insecure person I have seen in the public eye in a long time. That is why everything had to be perfectly curated.
A senior Netflix producer told Forbes that every meeting felt like walking through a PR minefield because a casual suggestion could be recast as bias, or worse, leaked as evidence of sabotage. Over time, those whispers became a pattern. Development chiefs who once scrambled to secure a Sussex signature now dodge the calls. Talent agencies quietly move their junior clients into the open time slots Meghan vacated. One exec summed it up with fatal brevity. Every idea ends with Meghan on a pedestal. While deals fizzled, public patience evaporated.
I truly feel like this set Meghan back. Despite the butt kissing, this really seems to have started, people like you and I, first of all, you can tell she's speaking directly to us. And this is classic Harry and Meghan utilizing their friends in the media.
Approval polls that once hovered near superstar status now read like mid-tier reality TV. In April 2025, YouGov ranked Meghan below the 20% favorability mark in Britain and a tepid 17% on a global celebrity index. Prince Harry fared only slightly better. More alarming than dislike is indifference. Late-night hosts no longer fear a backlash. They mine her story for easy laughs. Reddit threads dissect her business rollouts with forensic glee. Even formerly supportive columnists note a performance fatigue that sets in the moment Meghan starts talking about how silenced she is.
Number one question that mystifies scientists.
Is there life on another planet?
Oh no, why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags?
Inside Montecito's secluded compound, sources say the mood has shifted from confident to cautious. Harry, who once championed every branding pivot, reportedly worries that the constant push for relevance alienates the very audiences they claim to court. Staff turnover accelerates. Strategists come and go, unable to square creative risk with Meghan's demand for message control. The result is a feedback loop.
Meghan is a trained actress. What she does is that she studies people. She's not a good actress, but she is a trained one, right? She's been doing it her entire life.
The more curated each project becomes, the quicker audiences click away. The industry numbers confirm the vibe. Streaming analytics show viewers barely finish half an episode of Sussex content before abandoning ship, an attention drop-off that turns expensive productions into fiscal sinkholes. Advertisers notice, budgets tighten. Netflix, Disney, and even smaller docuseries studios redirect their 2026 slates toward personalities who convert curiosity into completion.
While she never stops whining. And at the same time, I'm getting all worked up. I'm a founder. I'm over it. She's not important. She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
Well, you can...
It was planned from the beginning.
Meghan converts curiosity into conversation, then stops. Outside the gates, other high-profile women chart a different course. Serena Williams pivoted from tennis to venture capital while keeping her feed heartbreakingly real. Michelle Obama's The Light podcast series wove humor, self-doubt, and daily chaos into something that felt raw, not rehearsed. Both found fresh audiences by leaving room for imperfection. Meghan, by contrast, polishes each anecdote until it gleams, and somehow no longer reflects anything human. Critics now label her brand aesthetic activism, ideas framed as lifestyle accessories instead of calls to action. That's why philanthropic slogans that once soared now land flat. Viewers hungry for substance recoil at designer kitchens and $3,000 blouses queued up as backdrops for tales of systemic oppression. The optics are off, and no Instagram quote about empowerment can realign them. In closed-door strategy sessions, advisors float extreme pivots, producing documentaries where Meghan never appears on camera, co-hosting panels where she asks questions instead of answering them, even a tentative script reading for a supporting role returned to acting. All intriguing, none guaranteed. Because the central problem isn't project choice, it's trust. Trust eroded when timelines in the Oprah interview blurred and fact-checkers pounced. It weakened when Spotify employees griped about mirror disguised as microphone recording sessions. It cracked when a Netflix children's series, Pearl, vanished mid-development after memos revealed no clear story arc. Over time, those cracks joined into a spiderweb of doubt that even Meghan's best friends in media can't spin away. That leaves the inevitable question: can this be salvaged? Perhaps, but only through the path Meghan has avoided since she first exited the palace gates.
She has a blanket that sits across her knees for warmth, and it was chilly. And she was like, Meghan, come on, and put it over my knees as well.
Real vulnerability costs currency. Pride, control, the Instagram-ready narrative. It means listening without scripting the response. It means letting the audience find their own reflection instead of selling them a pre-framed mirror. She doesn't need another podcast. She needs a reason for people to lean forward again. She doesn't need a new tagline. She needs a moment where the mask slips, where the story changes shape, and the Duchess of Deflection finally learns how to let silence speak, just long enough to hear something besides her own echo. Until that happens, no amount of rebranding can outrun The Simpsons' 60-second verdict. Because when satire starts feeling more authentic than the source material, the credits are already rolling, and the audience is looking for its next show.